Hi, I'm Anatole, and this is my reaction video to Neon Genesis Evangelion Season 1, Episode 7, I believe. It is titled, yes, Episode 7. The two titles, Human Work and The Works of Man, and it's scored 7.6 on IMDb, which is kind of a weak score. I'm curious why this received such a kind of mediocre score. So I'm not going to let that, knowing the score ahead of time, affect my judgment of the episode. But I'm curious why it scored kind of low. Anyways, I don't have anything this week. I haven't done any research. I try to find a balance between interviews with the creator and learning about the show, and also avoiding spoilers. And any interview with the creator that's done after the show is created potentially has spoilers. So for the most part, I've been very judicious in looking for research material because I don't want to be spoiled. So that means that I have to really be cautious about watching videos on YouTube that are interviews with the creator and reading any sort of pieces about the series, because any of those could have spoilers. So that it is what it is. I have managed to find a couple interviews, and I've talked about them before. I do my reaction video, a couple interviews that did not have spoilers, but I'm not going to make a habit of doing that because I really do want to avoid spoilers. However, anyone watching, if you have linked to an interview that you know won't spoil the series but might shed light on the creator, then feel free to please post that in the comments. I try to do research when I watch any sort of series. So anything you can provide to me that won't have any spoilers up to this episode, I would love to get. And without further ado, after the intro, I guess there is further ado, after the intro, please come back and watch my reaction to Neon Genesis Evangelion Season 1, Episode 7, Human Work, Works of Man. See you in a bit. Starting with a little bit of espionage, I see. Nothing like the Breakfast of Champions to start the day. It's the first time I've seen a penguin read the newspaper. What's black and white and red all over? A penguin reading a newspaper with his pants down. The sound is really good in this show. I've commented on it before too, but it's always worth repeating. I had that purple background in episode 1 when Shinji saw the Eva for the first time. It was the same shot, these black silhouettes, static. Conserving budget here, I see. The frame is moving around, the animation. Yeah, it's moving around. God bless the US! What's your problem? Plot dump. Something's up. Something's up, I think, by the way that Misato is reacting. I wonder what the title, Human Work, it sounds like it's a quote from the Bible. I hopefully after the episode finishes and I do my research on it, I'll find out what the title comes from. They have a premium position table all to themselves. That guy is sexist. These tables don't have repeating people. I was looking to see if they cut corners by repeating the people in the same position, but they don't. It's pretty good. I like we're seeing some of the political situation behind the scenes. I did a reaction video to Chernobyl a month and a half ago, and since that time, Dark, and now this, I can't get away from the Chernobyl references. This kind of feels like a Sideways episode now that the plot's unfolding. I like the gate, just moving arms like that. I love the color design, the way red is taking over all this part of the episode. Chernobyl! I wonder how she's going to deal with this. Shinji's been getting traumatized. I wonder how she'll do it. She does have kind of a drinking problem. So back to business as usual? Looks like it is. So maybe not romantic love, but familial love? Definitely seems like something's there. And that's it for the episode, so I will off-screen watch this again. I'll watch it a second time. I will read some reviews and listen to some reviews, podcasts, and then I'll come back and give my brief review on this episode. So join me in 3, 2, 1, and I'm back. I have finished watching the episode 3 times now, and I read some criticism, so it's given me a chance to compose my thoughts, and there are two main themes I want to touch upon. The first is the development of the world and the way that ties into Gendo, Shinji's father, who up to this point has been kind of a background figure. We saw him explored a little more in the 2 episodes that dealt with Rei, because his relationship with her is very central part of the story. But his relationship with Shinji and his role within the world of Earth, and the way that he is commanding Nerve, have kind of been unexplored, and they are still pretty much a mystery. But we did get to see here the extent of his influence and the depth to which he is willing to go in order to ensure that Nerve, his organization, is the one that is protecting the Earth. So he orchestrates the malfunctioning of, I think it's Flyjet, the name of the organization that creates the other robot, the other Eva. And I think it's very telling that when Mitsuko, who is not part of this conspiracy, attempts to shut down the robot, the password is hope. And in this case, hope failed because man, as some people might think is the usual cause of his own misfortune, man in this case prevents hope from flowering, because Gendo wants to ensure that his organization is the one that the Earth is using to protect against the angels. And I'm a little conflicted, because I think his argument about the unreliability or the unsafeness of these Evas that are powered by nuclear reactor, I think it's sound, because you don't want to create a worse disaster while trying to prevent one. But his methods in demonstrating his point, that is by sabotaging another company, are despicable. And I think what we get to see as a result of his machinations, as far as characters go, we get to see a deepening of Mitsuko and Shinji's relationship, and the theme that they are a new family is explicitly is explicitly defined by the friends of Shinji, whose names are Aida and I have to get the other one, Toji, and that sometimes your family isn't the one that you're born to, but the one that you are relying upon. And then and so that was furthered. Their relationship was furthered as a result of that. And then we also got to see that Risuko, Oh my goodness, Ritsuko, I was correct, is in league with Gendo. So I think, and so that plants the seeds in the future. We will have privileged perspective whenever we see oh my goodness, Ritsuko. We will know that she is a traitor within the organization, and I wonder how long they're going to hold that card over us, that trump card, and when it will be played out that these characters learn that she is really in league with Gendo and not with the Earth. She's not acting out of pure beneficence. And so then the second thing I wanted to comment upon was the role, the way that women are examined in this episode. We get to see the disdain that I don't want to say JetBlue, that Jet Air holds them when the representative of Jet Air, let me make sure I got that company name right. I was close, Jet Alone. The representative of Jet Alone at the I guess sort of Ava conference mocks Mitsuko and Risato by saying that they are just hysterical, and I'm not sure how loaded that the Japanese word is. The English word they use in the translation is very loaded, and it's usually used to dismiss women because the root of the word hysteria is about the uterus moving through a woman and causing imbalance. You don't have a uterus moving through a man. That's why that term is so loaded. It's the same as saying, oh, it's just an emotional woman, don't listen to her, and dismissing it. So the fact that we had this gender politics in the episode was quite interesting. And then we also see that when Aida and I forgot his name. Toji. Aida and Toji are making cat calls when Mitsuko comes to oh my goodness. Misato comes to visit Shinji at school, and so we see them objectifying her. Even though she's quite capable and smart person, they make her just the object of their obsession, and I think that it's not really not that maleficent, their reaction, because it comes off just more as boisterous teenagers. But in the context of also the episode where we have the speaker for Jet Alone calling Risato and Mitsuko hysterical, it does paint a picture of some form of sexism within this culture. And so I thought that was quite, first of all, those things are deliberately put in. Having a man look down on women and call them hysterical or any sort of derogatory term, that's intentional upon the part of the filmmaker. And then in that same episode, having one of the women function as the hero and one of them as the villain's henchman is a way of, I think, highlighting that these women have agency, and so, some of them are using that agency for the good, and some are using them in a selfish way. And that's pretty much what I've got for this episode. So thank you for joining me, and I hope you will join me again for my reaction and review for episode 8. That's it for episode 7. I never did really find out where Works of Man came from. I still feel it comes from a quote, and maybe I'll look it up before I watch the next episode. And in any event, that's all for now. Take care and be well. I was going to do fake guns, but decided that was a little bit too cringy, so I'm just going to wave goodbye. Goodbye.